comes to a point in the story when I tell you about the worst best date I've ever been on. Best because it was so weird and typical that would happen only to me or probably my best friend, because we just attract very strange things in life. That it was probably just the best date because of how like unreal it was. Not like I will now tell you about this experience. So one day Lemon texts me and he says, so I know you've been rejecting me. I'm not finished fighting for you. Something along these lines. What's on my teeth? Got it. So he tells me, I'm not finished fighting for you. I will wait as long as I have to for you because you're literally like the perfect person. I don't know where he got this idea and I'm not gonna agree with that because what the poop. So he finally tells me, hey look, I know that you have this such and such day off, and I had to, like, he was explaining how he went to like all this trouble just to, you know, get the time off, because one of the excuses that I would use for not being able to hang out with him was, oh, I'm sorry I'm working that day, or I'm sorry I only have such and such day off, which was a day that he was actually working, so that wasn't entirely like made up. Wasn't entirely made up, but he was like, I went through all this trouble to do such and such. I'm not gonna get a day off in like another 2 weeks or something because of this. Like, I have done everything at this point to be able to get a date with you. Can you please just humor me? Go on one date with me. I promise you it'll be the best night of your life. I was like, you know what? I told myself I would say yes more. What's the worst that could happen? So I agreed to go on the date with Lemon. The date starts off with him coming to pick me up in his car. And we go to Disney, what is now Disney Springs, downtown Disney, you know. And he asked me, like, you know, where do you want to go out to eat? And I was like, oh, I love Earl of Sandwich. Earl of Sandwich is my jam. I love it so much. And of course, I've been to Orlando many times before. I'm originally from Mississippi. So I was like eating Earl of Sandwich every chance I got because we don't have Earl of Sandwich in Mississippi. And I was like, I'd love to go there. And he was like, oh no, I'm not gonna take you somewhere like stupid like that. Well, my husband took me there for my first date, boy, so. I was like, no, that's stupid. I'm not gonna take you there. I'd rather take you somewhere fancy. Let's go to Rainforest Cafe. I was like, okay, sure. I just let him choose whatever for the date because honestly I was just here for the laughs at this point because I felt bad for the guy. Why? I guess I don't know. Well, we start off the date by going to the Raglan Road, and they have a little shop in there, and he now condescends to tell me that he is also Irish. German and Irish, and he's very proud of that. And of course I've highlighted most of the German parts of him because those are the very scary parts of him in this story. We go in there and he is like telling me all about his culture and like all this stuff. And so in there they had all these like little soccer jerseys and things, and like, you know, it's kind of like, it was like a very sporty vibe at the time. I'm not sure how it is now. I haven't been in since. He's like showing me all this stuff. He's like, oh, this is the jersey I want. This is my favorite football player. This is my favorite blah, blah, blah. And he's talking. I'm like, oh, okay. Witty banter, witty banter, witty banter. And then he pulls out this nice little soccer jersey, and he goes, this is the one I'm gonna wear. And this is the one you're gonna wear because I want you to be like a trophy wife. I just want you to sit there and just look pretty, and you're just gonna have like, you know, I'm gonna buy you all these nice clothes and you're gonna wear whatever I tell you to. And I was just like, in what world do you think that's gonna happen in? And he's like, well, you already agreed to go on the date with me, so I mean, it's pretty much, you know, I mean, it's pretty much like guaranteed you're gonna like marry me. So I was like, you're crazy, what have I done? And at this point I started like thinking, have I done? Why am I here with this person? Why am I crazy? Why am I still like giving him the time of day? Why don't I just block his number at this point? It's too late, because now he wants to show me his favorite place in the entire world, which is the Lego store. So there is a Lego store on Disney Springs, and he takes me in there and he's showing me all the Lego things that he wants, blah blah blah, and he's gonna build this and he's gonna do that. Then he goes outside, and at the time I think there is that little like area where you can build stuff still there. There's like a few little tables and there's like all these Legos in there, and there's this platform and you can, you know, build stuff on it. And he was like, oh my gosh, and he like shows me out of the way almost, and he's like, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna start building stuff. I'm gonna show you what I could do. And I'm sorry, but can we do something like cooler and hang out at the Lego store, please, and not act like we're 5 years old? Which, no shame, like no, like I'm nothing against people who play with Legos, but he rips me up front, and he's like, brings me up there and literally elbows a kid out of the way. He's like, get out of the way, I need to show this girl what I'm made of. I need to show her that I can build a laser. He's like a 19-year-old human being at the time, technically an adult, shoving a child out of the way so he can prove his manliness to someone. You know, I just, why? He starts building this laser, and the kid like started crying and like went off to his mom, and he's like, oh, what a titty baby or something. And he starts showing me how he's gonna build this Lego thing. And I wanted to continue this conversation that we had started, and you know, upon coming to the Lego store, because as it had turned out, another friend of mine, well, a guy at the time that I was talking to, just talking, it wasn't anything like potentially gonna happen. Apparently, that other person, we'll call him Kevin and Lemon were actually best friends and from the same town, and there was this huge drama between both of them. And I mean, what are the chances that I happen to meet two separate people from the same town in another place? Well, it happened, and somehow we had figured out that it had just come up somehow, and so we were talking about that, and he was like telling me, like, dogging this guy and like talking bad about him and telling me about all these things that made him like just a terrible person. These were the things that he was doing. And at that point, we had gotten to the Lego store, so I hadn't gotten to finish the conversation. And this is an intense conversation. Like, I was texting the guy at the time, Kevin, and I was like, hey, look, I'm out with Lemon right now, and this is what's happening. And he was like, you need to get out of there. And I was like, I'm kind of curious to see what happens, but if something does, this is where you will find me. Because I wanted to know, like, from Lemon's perspective of what was happening at this point. And I try to like talk to Lemon, and he's like, don't bother me right now. Don't bother me right now. I'm in the middle of working. I'm in the middle of doing something. And I was like, I thought we were on a date. Yeah, but just hold on a second. And he starts like yelling at me, and all these people start turning around, and I was just like, okay, I'll just be over here. All right, whatever. So he finally builds me this laser, and it's, I don't know if it's like a press or not. I don't know anything about Legos. So anyways, we leave there, and now it's time to go get dinner at Rainforest Cafe. So we're walking away, and he starts telling me more about this said drama with Kevin. And so then Lemon starts to, proceeds to start talking more about himself, which is fine. I'm gonna let him do that. I'm texting Kevin, and I'm telling him what Lemon is saying. And Lemon turns to me and says, I'm sorry, but am I boring you right now? Like, I thought you chose to go out on a date with me. And I was like, you forced me to come here. I can text my friends really, really quick. I can text them back. Like, it's not a crime to be texting someone. And he was like, well, you're on a date with me, and when you're on a date with me, you need to stay off your phone. I don't want you texting anyone else. And who are you texting? It better not be Kevin. And I was like, well, as a matter of fact, it could be Kevin, and I don't care what you have to say. This is my life. I'm gonna text who I want. You can get over it. Let's just go eat something. You're weird. He was like, oh, fine, whatever. But I don't like this. I was like, I don't care what you like. So anyways, we go to Rainforest Cafe, And we sit down and the server comes over. I'm 19, he's 19, he's like a couple months younger than me or something. And no, he was still 18 at the time. Oh shoot, who cares? Our server comes over and he's like, hey, would you guys like to start off with any drinks? You know, by the way, we have some drink specials tonight I'd like to let you guys know about. And Lemon like leans over the table and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, but my girlfriend won't be having anything to drink tonight. She's underage. And I was like, what? I mean, I'm not gonna argue or say anything in front of the waiter. Like, the server, like, what is that gonna do? Okay. So the server just kind of looks at him like, okay. And I was like, by the way, he's underage too, so he's not gonna be having anything to drink either. Isn't that right, sweetie pie? He just like looked at me and he was like, we'll have waters, thank you. Anyways, so what proceeded after that was actually a very enjoyable evening at dinner. He actually started opening up and like telling me interesting things about himself and like his life, and he wasn't being arrogant. He was asking questions about me, and it was, you know, an actually enjoyable time. And I was like, wow. And I actually told him this. I was like, wow, Lemon, where has this guy been all along? If this guy had been showing up rather than this like other guy you're like pretending to be or whatever, like I would have really said yes to going out with him. Like, he's a really nice guy. And he was like, you know, okay. So I thought, okay. This is nice. Probably still will never go out with him again and will definitely block his number. But you know what? He's a nice guy. So this is actually kind of fun. So this is the part in the story that I'm nervous to tell about because this is going on a very public platform. So, anyways, we go to his car and we start going back home because he's gonna drop me off at my apartment. Well, actually, no. We had agreed. We're like, okay, we'll go back to his apartment, which is like a few things away, and we were just gonna hang out or whatever. And his roommates were there, and he really wanted me to meet them because they were all really nice or whatever. And he was like, you'll get along really great with them. And I was like, okay. So, and again, like we had a very nice time at dinner. Like he was like almost a completely different person. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll actually do that. Okay, whatever. We get in his car, and as you know, if you're familiar with the Orlando area or the Disney College Program, you'll know that Disney Springs is not a very far distance from Vista Way. So we drive out of Disney Springs, downtown Disney, whatever you want to call it. Jeez. We drive out of there, and he's like, I have to let you have to listen to the song by Flogging Molly. It reminds me, I think of you every time I listen to it. So he puts on Flogging Molly, and he's literally blasting the music. I mean, so loud. He's got the windows rolled down. All these people are looking at us like, what the heck? Who are you? Like, turn your music down, you youngling. And he like snatches my hand and is like holding it in like a death grip, and he's like sitting there like as he's driving, he's like, you know, as Flogging Molly sounds like. And we're driving, and if you know where Vista Way is back here, and there's like a little light here, there's a Walgreens, like a gas station, like Chick-fil-A and stuff, all that, Wendy's. And there's like a crosswalk a little bit like in front of Vista Way, and it's kind of to go from like the gas station to the Walgreens or whatever right across the street. People pass over there all the time. There was actually an ICP that had been killed in a car wreck not long before this happened. So keep that in mind. And we're rounding the corner. He's driving, you know, he's driving along, you know, and he's singing, and he's not paying attention to the road because he's trying to look into my eyes and be really romantic, and he's holding my hand, and he's like, and I'm just sitting there, you know, looking at him, more like looking at the road because he's not. He's like, Lemon, okay, you need to slow down, Lemon. You turn the curve, right, to go through the light, and there's the walkway, okay? Keep that in mind. turn the curve, and the walkway's up a little bit ahead, okay? I should say. Lemon, there are people crossing the road. Lemon, stop! Stop! Lemon! No! And we bump, barely bump, these two drunk girls. Vista Way is known for partying. College program is known for partying. They probably just got off a party bus. I don't even know. But they had these like red Solo cups in their hand. Is super stereotypical of like that. But like one of the girls, it just kind of like bumped her and she like kind of toppled over. Like he had stopped just in time, and that was really what kind of like jolted. And she's like, oh my god, like what the F is your problem? And I was like, Lemon, what the F did you just do? You just hit two girls with your car. And he's just sitting there and like paralyzed, just like won't even look at me. And the girl starts to come around and I'm like, Lemon, like we need to get out. We need to make sure they're okay. And I start to like open the door as the girls have like come around to his side and they're like banging on his window. And I'm like, hold on just a second, I'm coming. I try to open the door. He locks it and speeds away. And the girls are like, rah, 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 in the background. And I'm like, Lemon, let me out of this car right now. Seriously, let me out of the car. No, stop right now. You shut your mouth. Lemon, stop. Seriously, like this is not a joke. Like, let me out of the car right now. And he starts spinning away. And I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. What am I gonna do? I just need some time to think. I don't know what's happening. Oh my god. And so I started to reach down for my bag, and he's like, don't touch your phone right now. Stop what you're doing. And I was like, holy crap, what's about to happen? I'm about to get murdered. This is like really scary, really fast. Like, oh my gosh. So he starts driving and driving and driving. And as you know, if you're familiar with the area, there's a Walmart down the street, which sometimes the buses would drop us off to on the college program. And there's like a Walmart, so down there. So he's like speeding down the road and he goes into the Walmart parking lot and he just like sits there. Won't look at me. And I was like, Lemon, are you okay? Shut up, stop. I just need time to think. Stop. I just like sat, waiting for him. Should I have gone out of the car and run? Hell yes, I should have. But I did not. He turns to me, and this is what he says. Puts his hand on the headrest of my seat. Annie, if you ever tell anyone of this night, I will destroy you. And he starts driving away. And I just looked at him because I was afraid to laugh. I wanted to laugh so hard. And I had to look out the window to stop myself from laughing so hard. Because I was afraid that something would happen. He literally just bumped two girls with his car and drove away. What would he do with my body when he murdered it? These are the questions I had. So I had to remain a semblance of silence so he would not kill me. So I'm looking out the window and I'm like, to myself. So he's driving back to Vista Way, as it seems. Oh, I had something had stolen my thoughts for a few minutes. Crazy how that happens when you hit two people with your car. We had made plans to go back to his apartment. There was no way I could tell him no now. He could murder me. He pulls up to his apartment and he proceeds to tell me by bringing out little tiny cards that these were his dream cards. This is not... How can this be real? He starts telling me about these and he's like, I'll tell you more about them. Let's go inside. Okay. I left my salad in his car. I was so scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was thinking to myself, okay, I'll make it inside, meet his roommates, make sure they're not crazy, we'll be around other people. I'm young, I'm stupid, I'm not thinking clearly. And I was like, I'll go to the bathroom and I'll text my friends and like hopefully be like, oh, one of them is sick. I have to go, be with them or whatever. So We go inside. I was like, so where's your roommates? Because the other ones that were supposed to be there were not there. And he was like, I don't know, but I told them they effing needed to be here because I wanted them to meet you. I mean, you're like the most important person in my life right now, like obviously. And I was like, okay, well, where's the one that's here? And he was like, oh, he's over here. So we go in there and we're talking with the guy and he's really fun. And we'll call him Mark. It's just really fun to be around. And he was just a really flamboyant person, and I just really enjoyed him and his personality. He was so amazing. And we're getting along, and then Lemon starts to get jealous. It came up multiple times in our very short-lived conversation with this roommate, Mark, that he was very openly gay. So Lemon really had nothing to worry about, but he did anyways, because he's kind of a weirdo, a psycho. And he was like, I'm sorry, should I leave the room, like, to you guys at this point? And I was like, no, we're fine. You wanted me to meet your roommate. Like, we're just having fun. This is what you wanted. Like, what's your problem? And he was like, because it seems like you two are getting along better than we are. And I was like, you're absolutely freaking right. We are getting along better than you and me because you're weird. And the roommate Mark starts like laughing. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad there's somebody out there who's like totally tearing him up to pieces because he's so lame. And Lemon starts fuming. He's so mad. He's like red in the face. He's like, come on, Annie, I have to show you something very important. And I was like, oh God, you're gonna show me your body collection. So it's like, hold on just a second. I just need to make a quick phone call because I got a text from my friend and she's not feeling well and I might have to go to her apartment. And he was like, let's just leave the excuses aside. You don't have a sick friend. You just want to leave. And I was like, oh God. So I was like, okay. I didn't argue because I was really scared. I was really scared that he was gonna, like, I don't know, but at least I had like the safe feeling of knowing there was a very sane roommate right over there. So he brings me into his room and he shows me that he has this projector instead of a TV, which was pretty cool, but really, that's what he wanted to show me. So then he proceeds to tell me that there's something very important to him that he wants me to watch. And I was very intrigued at this point because I'm thinking, is it a Charles Manson like documentary? Jeffrey Dahmer, perhaps? Are you going to show me about how you like to you're eventually going to kill me? I don't really know. Okay, sure. Let's watch whatever it is you want to show me. So he tells me to sit on the bed, and I sit on the bed, and I'm very scared. But I also know that if he tries anything, I will throat punch him, and I will kick him, and I will hurt him, very much so. And again, there's a sane roommate right across the room. So, in the hall, not in the room. That would have been amazing. Which I did try to get him to come hang out with us, but Lemon, Lemon did not want that because he was very jealous of his very gay roommate. Anyways, so I'm sitting there while he's getting everything ready. And that's what his actual roommate. So there's like 2 people in those types of apartments. He had 5 roommates as well. Or did he have 5 roommates or was it just 3? It doesn't matter. Anyways, his roommate that stayed actually in his room came in and he was with, I don't know if it was his girlfriend. I don't know if it's a girl he just met. Apparently he has a reputation from what Lemon is telling me. He's been seeing his girl quite a few times. Oh, you know, it wasn't someone he just met. It was someone he's been seeing a few times. I don't really remember, honestly. But he comes in with his girlfriend. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Oh, thank you. And Lemon proceeds to tell his roommate, you can't be in here because me and my friend are in here. And he was like, well, you need to get over it. Oh, thank you so much. I don't even know the guy's name. I don't remember his name. But I was like, thank you. I don't really feel like being raped or murdered tonight. And, anyways, so they get in the twin bed next to us. And they get under the covers and they're just, chilling, waiting. He's like, what are you going to put up there? And he's like, I'm going to show Annie, my collection. I was like, okay. So then he comes and he sits next to me. And he's like, get under the covers. And I was like, F you. No. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, it's super close to the edge of the bed. And what comes on the screen will shock you. It was My Little Pony. That's exactly my reaction as well. it was My Little Pony. And here's the thing, I love My Little Pony. I did not at the time. I thought it was overrated. I didn't understand. I do understand the power of friendship and magic and, you know, ponies. I also consider myself to be the human personification of Pinkie Pie at some points, but that's just me. But at the time, he's making it seem like it's gonna be like this huge grand thing, and he's always talking about how he's like super smart, like scholarly, blah blah blah. So that's that. So I started laughing, and he was very upset. He got like really like rigid, and he was really mad, and he was like, "I'm sorry. Would you like to show me something very important to you?" and then laugh at it. And his roommate was like, "Dude, you need to chill the heck out, because you just, I mean, that was my reaction too, man. I don't know if you were in this like pony stuff." And anyways, so I was like, whatever, this is what you want me to see, put it on. So we're watching. He's like, "I want you to see this entire episode." So I was like, okay. And the entire episode, I'm trying to think of ways that I can escape, which I could have just literally run out, but at that point I was really, honestly, genuinely afraid that he was gonna come in after me and stuff. So then his roommate and his roommate's friend start fondling and whatever else underneath the very, very thin covers on the twin bed near a window next to us. And I was like, this is really weird. Can we go? And he was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I want to show you something else anyways. So he takes me outside, and he's like, I want to show you something in my car. I should have known this is the point when he like gets the gun and he like, you know, hits me in the head or whatever. I don't know, however murders happen. Takes me out, and like he was on the second story, so he like is taking me out of the like room, like out of the house. He closes the door, and I'm walking, and he like dramatically grabs my wrist, and I like spin around, and I like trip, and he like catches me, and he's like, "Whoa, you tripping, princess?" And I was like, don't ever effing call me that again. I think it's time. I think you want something just as bad as I do. And I was like, what, an exit? I said it out loud, and he was like, I think you want to kiss me. He pulls me in for a kiss, and he's like, blah blah blah, and I recite a piece from Romeo and Juliet. I was like, pilgrim's hands do touch, but palm to palm is holy Palmer's kiss or something. And I stumbled over the words because, as you just heard, it's kind of a and so he was like, you can't even say the words because you're just so entranced by me. It's my eyes, isn't it? And I was like, ah. So we go down to his car, we see the model cars, and I was finally like, okay, I think it's really time for me to go. My friend genuinely is sick. She was genuinely not sick. And I was like, I need to go. And he was like, you know what, okay, that's fine. And I was like, but look, I promise I'll call you later. I'll promise I'll see you later. This won't be the end of everything, because I figured if I reassured him that he would like let me go and I could very, very quickly block everything, which I did. So then I went home that night, and safely. My honor intact, my valor, my integrity, my life, my sense of humor. That's my story about the worst, best date I've ever been on. There's a little bit more to it about the aftermath of all of that, and how he went crazy berserk and like cussed me out publicly on a bus because I never called him back and ignored me, and like was very humiliating and degrading to me because I rejected him. But we won't get into that because I think the story is long enough, and I hope you've had enough laughs over that. So that's it. If you guys would like to hear more about my Disney college program, I would love to make a video about that later. I actually have some thoughts about that. I'll tell you guys about that soon. But let me know in the comments below if you'd like to hear any more about the Disney college program and my experience. I would love to talk about it. And would you guys like to see more story time videos like this? Would you like to see more sit-down videos or like challenges? Or let me know also down in the comments what more you guys would like to see. I'd love to have a little bit more fun as well. Thank you guys for being patient and like watching this video and actually caring about this crazy story. I know my college program friends will be watching this and cringing over the retelling of this tale. Cautionary Tale. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!